need to keep it focused on me. Like, I know you guys, you're going to have all the audio from other things anyway. So welcome to a parking lot. Congratulations, everybody. You made it. So, no, it's a weird space, but it used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. This is kind of a little bit of a windy one, so I'm going to take another quick drink. But what you guys do need to know is with all the communication device people, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there at the Big Red Barn. You will be getting the answers from all of your communication devices. So,
I got 3.6.
Beautiful. I love it. Hang on to that number. I'm going to have to write it down. Keep
4.
it going up. I think I got you. Anyway, welcome to where the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion used to be. So it used to sit in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing where the servant and slave quarters were for the home. So who the heck were these people? Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. That way I know which Charles is coming through in the event somebody hears or sees the name Charles. So, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution of South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here, so we're going to move on. If I don't bring that up, they normally do it for me in a very angry, you didn't give me the credit I deserve type of manner on your spirit boxes, and I try not to piss off this family. You're going to find out why here very shortly. Megan's like, oh crap, where did you bring me? I just seen that sigh of like, oh my god. But anyway, the Pinckneys. We're going to talk about Eliza instead. She has a much better story anyway. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say that because if you're going to ask her how old she was, don't expect numbers from the colonial days of when young ladies got married like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards. Because her husband was over double her age, even in the colonial times that they came from. So it's a creepy age gap back then, and it's a creepy age gap now. I'm just going to point that out. But anyway, she married him because her father was over in England. He thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his children home so he can see them one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. Don't poke the bear. There's no love affair or any foul play. This is a true love story, everybody. Don't mess it all up. A lot of people like to go, how many men did you sleep with? Like, that's not a thing here. But yeah, believe me, we're going to get into that later on. But anyway, so she was right. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day that I know of. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. That is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. Eliza didn't know what to do with the plant when she got it, so she had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always hot here. And then she had to learn how to make the dye. When she did that, she moved into a cash crop, got a hold of her dad and said the rice plantations were going downhill and that they were going to make a killing with the indigo. We now have an international businesswoman during colonial times, something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here in front of me. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give every communication device a set of questions to focus on. What that means for you guys, on your TV shows, and you guys will pretty much attest to this right away, I normally get a lot of head nods, they ask one question from one device, and they put the camera on that one device for 5 minutes until a commercial break. Don't get discouraged if you're not getting a direct answer. Jennifer might actually ask a question, Carol might get the answer. That's why I like to use so many different types of devices and make sure we have enough communication. Not to mention we're using all 3 of my cameras plus my voice recorder. It can come up as a full-blown disembodied EVP. We never know where the answers are going to go. So that's why you guys are going to be spread out in this location, and I'm going to be bouncing around with you guys to see what's going on. In this location, I'll do 2 full round robins because there are 10 of you, and then I'll bring us all back here and give us all the answers. So, kind of gives you the gist. So with Todd's device, you're specifically going to go after what happened to the mansion. Your device normally only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time, so obviously it's some kind of tragedy. But if you get the what, we will normally get 2 or 3 numbers of the when. That's the date. So again, that's obviously the month, day, and year. So those are going to be your 2 major questions that you're going to focus on is like what's going on with the mansion. It's not here anymore. With yours, Miss Carol, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. Kind of a jerk move if you really think about it. So the first wife dies in January of 1744, and 5 months later, he married the one we just talked about. Both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Figure out which one we're dealing with. The other piece for you would be how old she was when she got married. So that kind of leads me to Brandon as well. We don't expect a whole lot out of this device. Getting her straight initials of ELP in that order is exciting. So that's what you're going to be looking for out of that specifically. The 2 red spirit boxes, so that would basically be Ellie and Jennifer, you're going to have the same set of questions. Eliza's death. You can ask her how old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. All of these questions you can cherry pick from one another. The one thing I'm going to ask that you don't do is ask about Eliza's children. We are too close to a tragedy date in the family, and that is not a bear we want to poke. So we want to kind of stay away from that. Did you get any other numbers coming out of yours, Chris?
Yeah, 1.8 right now.
Okay. So it's definitely not higher than the 3.6 that you gave me
I
earlier.
got a 4 right after the 3.8, or 3.6.
A 3.6 and a 4. So Mary, did you get anything out of yours at all? Okay, very interesting. So we are going to spread out. I'm going to keep Brandon behind so I can show him a little bit more about his little Ouija board device. But just be mindful of the vehicles. Just don't even go on that side of the lot. We're actually very gracious tonight. A lot of room tonight because it's the night before a holiday and nobody's parked in here. So let's spread out. I'm going to meet up with everybody here in just a second. And it looks like, Kayla, you got that thing up and running really good. A lot of people have struggled with that button. I don't know why, but you got it. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so your specific question.
Yeah, this is insane. We were actually doing ghost stuff, like real ghost stuff.
5.5.
Ooh, 5.5. Keep that in mind.
4.4. 2.5. I can't remember all those numbers.
5.5. 4.5.
4.4.
4.5. 5.5 and 4.4. You hit 60?
59. 14.
Oh, tell him. 60?
43.
Holy crap. What's his name? Mom. Dad hit a 60.
I got 59.
That is 60?
Yeah.
59.
He went up to
37.
60. 37.
She heard the name Chris. And God. 8 to 6. 8 to 6. Oh my God.
What's his name? What's his name over there?
They said Chris.
Can we go get him? What'd you get? 125?
160 and named Chris.
My dad got 160 over there.
Excuse me, sir.
Absolutely. I'm on that cruise.
You hit another triple digit like that.
What?
Well, we heard Chris, and the dad got that big thing, and then it was, she said, constant pain.
Constant pain. We heard the word God. I heard 8-6.
Is it like a staticky voice or is it like a girl voice?
I'm a girl that said the thing, but it just, the Bible.
The Bible.
That's so cool. Yes, Dad.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Ezekiel 33.
Oh my gosh, Ezekiel.
Dad, you're just in
33.
some trouble. We're hearing some things.
Some things. Ezekiel 33, the Bible, God.
Chris, constant pain.
But, and then we heard 8-6.
I heard 33.
Ezekiel 33. Let's go tell him. So we can write about
I don't know.
I
what that
want
means.
to do that. That's fun. I want to hear it too. You hear any more?
Just kind of put that.
Tendon.
What? Again, later on, we'll see like
This
how
thing is
things are
cool.
going. The officer is always the most exciting thing out here. So I'll see how you guys are doing with this. And I do have another spirit box that you can listen to if that's what you want to take to. But again,
Do you want to ask him if you want to speak?
Everybody else has one. So that's why
Does he have more?
one, but I also make sure, like, I know that they don't always have those on things. I don't have all the things. So again, I try not to always get the listener pieces too. That's my point. So I'm not saying that you're older than me,
My
but
heart. I heard my
so
heart.
again,
Did
I
you
don't
hear
know
my
if
heart?
you use, any kind of pieces in your ear. I've done that by the way. I'm going to follow up with everybody else and kind of see where things are going. Chris is getting super high EMF, so he came on stage. We're going to call everybody back. How are we doing with the spirit boxes over here?
Kind of stuck. What period?
Like what? What do you got?
Todd.
We heard Chris.
8-6. Ezekiel 33. Yeah, we're good.
A lot of biblical terms, right?
Yeah. And then we heard Chris. Constantine. That's right. We needed that one.
So 86 is good. I like that. The religious terms are okay. I'm just going to write down religious terms in general because you've heard so many of them.
Yeah.
They were a very religious family. I'm just going to put
Okay.
that out there.
Okay.
So do I write down every one and count it like towards everything? No, it's just kind of a bulk thing that
Okay.
happens. He's checking to see if you're a ghost or not. But any EMF readings like what he had over there?
I haven't had any readings now.
At all.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Chris, anything else come out of yours that I need to know about?
17-ish.
Okay. I'll still take a 17.
160 was like.
Yeah,
Why
that's.
would-
I'm
why
going
would-
to talk about that.
So
Like
why
that's a
would it
big
say
deal.
my name?
Why? Depends on who came with you.
So once this gets
Who came with you?
What ghost did you bring? I'm sorry. What do you got?
So once we
It
get
said,
filled up, I know we got
said
cut short because
constant
Yeah.
pain.
So every time it fills up, because it's going to move the cursor, like it's right in the middle right now.
Right.
So those first 3 or 4 letters overwrote the ones that were already there, and it could make up another word, which really wouldn't be a thing. So you're literally going to reset this every single time. it
So
fills
her
up.
house
Yeah,
was
there's
right
just-
here.
Yeah,
random letters.
it's good. Well, he's had some really high EMF, so it's kind of you're going to get a lot of interference.
I don't ask any questions, nothing.
You don't need to if you don't want to. But again, with this one, Eliza knows that I'm just trying to get her info out of it. Because remember, I stop here every time.
What questions are supposed to ask me?
So
Okay.
you're going to get it. She
How
knows
old
I'm
she
looking at her.
was.
Gotcha.
Awesome. We're going to talk about this space a little bit more before we leave. Has she
How
heard
old she
anything
was
coming
when
out
she
of there
passed
yet?
away?
I'm not too sure. I tried to listen with her. I was like, she's not, it's not for my ear.
Definitely not a new. Definitely.
Maybe Chris was her pallbearer.
Oh.
Was there a president? What do you say, a president? Who was her pallbearer?
Which president?
Yeah.
Maybe his name was Chris.
President was named Chris.
I don't know, it's just a theory.
Let's go this way.
So
I have one button, mute.
Yeah.
Right?
and it just turns it on and off.
So then, when I'm ready to go, I have to.
Yeah, so you unmute it, and it'll normally take 15, 20 seconds to warm up because it works a lot differently. So whenever I'm covering the history, I'll ask you to mute it because you literally have the only one that's loudspeaker. So we have a couple of things going on. I think I need to explain the EMF readings first because we got all the way up to a 160 and then we aired out. So it probably went well over 200, and that's my guesstimate. I can't tell because it aired out on Chris. So what does this device actually do? Let me explain it in terms of your house. Those of you with video cameras, if you want to go ahead and stop them to give your hands a break, by all means do so. I definitely want you shooting it down one way or the other. Cameras don't always have to stay on me. You're going to get the audio later. It's all about trying to capture evidence. So in the event that other tourists start to come through here, they're going to come through that wall. Just so you know, there's a little side step right there where they'll be coming in through this way. And we just split the seats and let them go through. I'll stop talking. Again, every ghost story tells the same story down here. I just tell it a little bit differently because you're ghost hunting, right? You're on campfire and marshmallows, if you guys get my point. So your camera's upside down. If you were recording, you need to stop it and then hit that record button again.
I just said we are all right.
That's interesting. Now let's say, you haven't heard anything. She's been giving me everything. So this used to be called Jewelers Alley. It's Philadelphia Alley now because dueling became stupid first off and illegal, so they had to rename it after a city that helped us out of one of our many fires that I already talked to you about. So here's how this story goes that I told you every ghost story talks about. So it kind of sucks because Brandon left with the one tool that was actually designed for this location, and I told him to go ahead and take it. It's okay.
I got 2.6. That was 3.2. Did you see 3? Oh, 2.7.
I'll take the 10. I told you, the 7 and above is what I'm looking for here because of the lamppost.
Okay.
But she had a 10.7. I'll take it. Chris, did you get anything?
Nope.
Shot through the heart. Is that what it said?
Nice. All right. Right at the same time you had your...
Yeah.
Shot through the heart. Shot through the heart. And we're about to talk about duels. And we had the word drawing. Like they're drawing their guns. All right. So, Brandon's device was actually the reason, this location is the reason why I bought it. But he's not here right now. So then there were 9. No, I'm kidding. He'll be back. He just had to run somewhere real quick. But anyway, here's how the story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. So his name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you listening on your spirit boxes and not paying attention to me, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time because it's part of the doctor's name. Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. So she has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. So he comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. He's going to make his own and start his medicine practice down here. So on his way into Charleston, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here. Somebody was walking by. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop there on Ralph because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We were getting RI all the time on your 2 spirit boxes, so I bought the Ouija board device so I can get the specific letters. I will tell you in the 6 months that I've had it, when I'm telling this part about Ralph, we've had it again 4, 5, 6 times. I've lost count. But again, it does come up consecutively. I just need a secondary clue so I know who it belongs to. 2 different characters, right? So, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. He's got a gunman inside. Come with me to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from these friends of mine, and you'll be safe and good to go. The doctor took him up on the offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor because Amanda's moving down soon, so that way they can actually get married. Here's what I'm going to tell you about whistling ghosts. Every haunted city has a cliched whistling ghost. It's just something we all do. There is proof of this one. Of course, I'm going to tell you that, but hopefully you're going to capture that tonight as we kind of go through the rest of the piece of the history. So back to Ralph and the doctor. They go see plays together, but they cannot sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's just the way the hierarchy works. There's a ghost coming by, everybody. And he's going to have our devices, and he's going to let us know if he sees an RI. So Jennifer, if you include him in when he gets here. But they go see Richard III one night, and they're arguing over the new actress because they're talking about the play on the way home because they couldn't sit next to each other during the play. The doctor gets better seats because he makes more money, in case I missed that part. But anyway, they're arguing over the actress, and the doctor thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It gets really ugly. They went their separate ways. You already know that Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad and tells them to place an ad telling the whole city what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society. Slap, slap with a glove is normally what I've been doing with that line. So that's where she heard the glove, and I'm like, I like the glove. I'll take that one. My daughter would make fun of me because it sounds like an old man saying slap, slap with a glove. But anyway, she comes on to tours often, just so you guys know. She's 17 and a smart ass, and that's just who she is. But anyway, back to Dr. Ladd. Dr. Ladd saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned. The doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot his one shot from his flintlock. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. Didn't get the word bravery. So, I'm getting all kinds of words straight from the word of the ghost color, right? Looks like we just have a family coming by, because that's definitely not a tour guide in front. So we'll let them pass there and walk all the way through. But anyway, Dr. Ralph has his one bullet left, right? He hasn't shot it, so he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd doesn't die. He drops to the ground.
Oh.
Ralph.
Full place.
What's that?
Full place.
Oh, look at that. We're getting double whammy here. So let's
Should
let
I
everybody
stop
just pass
the camera?
through. No, just keep going. Just keep holding. They don't know what we're doing. Just be still. Hello, hello. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey. See there, nice and casual. Nobody thinks you're just the weirdos around Charleston. Not a big deal. So anyway, where was I? Doctor fell to the ground, right?
Yeah.
He was carried home to his home at 59 Church Street by his friends, and he died 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. First off, you need to remember that he's a doctor. He probably just tried to bleed out this bullet wound himself because it's 1786. Gunshot wounds were a lot different back then than they are now. Probably just lead poisoning. However, he did die November 2nd of 1786. Every ghost tour that comes down here will tell their people to listen for the whistles as they're in the alley. First off, besides that air conditioner, it is usually super quiet down here, even on a busy Saturday afternoon. The nice thing for you guys is we have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get a whistle, it's definitely going to show up on one of those 4 items. You don't have to do it on your own. If you decide, because I can't take you all the way through here, I've actually been kicked out of here. We're going to get to that in a minute because that's the fun part of the story. And you're going to turn on your voice recorders from your phones and walk all the way through. Just keep in mind, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen throws a whistle down the alley. We all do it. I do it too. So, especially since I got booted out of here, I just like to throw off all the other tours. So, here's how that part of the story goes. Here's how I got kicked out. Like, there's no laughs. Megan was the only one that laughed at that. Like, I got in trouble. Kaylee's like, holy shit, who did we sign up with today? But anyway, there's the chuckles. Good. So the alley didn't go all the way through this way, the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley, because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So that means the bricks on the other side are older than the ones we're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks for slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end of this alley and some fingerprint swipes from others off to the left. I used to take my groups all the way through here when I first started doing this. However, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid is not there. I'm not looking to hunt him down and hopefully get activity out of it because that's the last place you're going to find him. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group is huddled around that one brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoot them along because I know nothing's going to happen because he's not there. Secondly, because it's outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was just trying to be respectful. I didn't know I was out of bounds for tours. So, I was new at this, and Chris is like, yeah, now I'm down with this guy. Cool. So, we moved on after the new owner came out screaming, and my daughter thought it was great because her dad was getting yelled at during that time. And the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management, upper management for Walmart for a good part of 20 years. You know now why I will never go back to retail or work on Thanksgiving ever again in my life, because all of you people hang out at Walmart on Thanksgiving, and I will never go back. So, secondly, the next day after that was November 28th. I know it gets warm down here. I'm trying to rush through it. November 28th, I called my partner that I had at the time that actually was teaching me about tourism. I told him what happened. He's like, you're not allowed to go down that far. We've already gotten the complaint. You got to go down halfway, which is what we're allowed to do because that's the boundaries, because it's residential, anything past that, or reroute the group. I told my group that night, because it's Black Friday and I'm sold out again, that I'm going to reroute, but I've never had anything happen at this next location. I don't even believe in the story. I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person, which is exactly what I was giving you the gist of at the beginning of our night. So, before we left the space, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. So I got a little bit excited. So we went over there and I told them what little bit I did know about piracy. Somebody else, here's the number 300 coming out of their spirit box. We're gonna let them pass through again. Sorry guys. So I don't know what the number 300 means. I write it down just like what I'm doing for you guys tonight. I research it the next day. Turns out the dates that we were there of November 28th of 2020 was the exact 300th year anniversary of Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. So some of you are looking at me with like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was pissed off about it. First off, pirate lore to me is a big problem because I have a master's degree in creative writing. I need even facts and data to create fiction stories, and especially when I'm doing a paranormal investigation. Pirate stories are based off of pirate lore. So that's a big issue. That means I have to read more books to be able to debunk more things. So half my library now is nothing but pirate books. And I've watched more documentaries, more movies, and even play video games with pirates in them to get a different version of the story because they all tell it differently. So the next location is a hit or miss, but hopefully we're going to get bleed over from Dr. Ladd. And when I say hit or miss, Anne Bonny is actually said to be seen all over town. I'll explain once we get over there. It'll make more sense, but we will have a chance to spread out. It gets super warm down here during the beginning of July, so I'm trying to rush this. If you can't pick up on that, like I can probably feel the sweat dripping off my face at this point. Before we leave the space, the gate. There's a reason why I like to steal this spot. Oh, there's our quiet, peaceful place. But the gate. Remember I told you that the alley didn't go all the way through this way? Yeah. In the event there was a loser to the duel, this was the shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side of the wall. Otherwise, they'd have to carry the dead body all the way down to Queen Street, which you can see how long the alley is, and then double back to get over to St. Philip Cemetery, so that way they can go celebrate the winter. The wrought iron gate probably wasn't put here until probably the early 1900s, but you can definitely see that the archway is part of the original wall. So, again, I just like to point it out because not many people know why this gate's actually here. It's just an easement right now for the church, because that's right when you hit on that step, you're in church property. So, it's kind of how that works. But you guys ready to go talk about some rated R pirates?
Yeah.
Nobody got my punny? Chris did, maybe. Alright, we're going to pass this spin around these guys.
Do I stop my video?
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. Welcome to the Holy City.
You're not supposed to be my line. Welcome to the Holy City.
Yeah, we can't go through that way he just said. Because that's all residential down there.
I don't know how far.
Like it just said, it was coming out of your mouth.
Right there.
So crazy.
Relax again.
Oh, that was.
Interesting. How are our words coming on your end?
That's crazy.
Nothing new at all from nothing while we were in the alley either?
Just drawing still.
Drawing still. Interesting that they're getting all of these terms and you're not. And again, it's not your fault, it's the ghost's fault. I'm not using your device to talk back. So EMF detection in this location. By the way, cameras, by all means, go ahead and get them started. Other tours may cut through here. The reason I bring us to the back is just to stay out of their way. They'll be cutting through. They may stop in front of the powder magazine, do a little bitty, and then they're on their way. So when we spread out in this location, you're just going to stay away from them. EMF in this location, I only get excited about it on this back half because the closer you go to the street, you're going to get the parking meters that are on the other side of the bushes and the 2 electrical poles in the corners of the lot. So again, your device has been the only one to detect any EMF in this location as of late. We don't normally expect much out of this location. It's definitely not the Pinky Mansion site of 160. So just don't expect any other place besides our last stop of where we're going. Which, by the way, wait till you guys see what the hell I'm going to do to you in the last stop. This is a little nuts. So, did you guys read the full description of what you guys signed up for?
I mean, just to know.
Wow, I love all the head nods. And
I saw ghost equipment. I was like, in.
I'm just
yeah.
here.
Yeah. At the very bottom, there's a
I'm here
little
for the
thing
ride.
you have to sign for a waiver, and Chris is like, oh shit. He's like, what else is in the bag? So, Shane, we had that here a couple nights ago out of a different spirit box.
Oh,
Says here and Shane.
it was a word, but
Interesting.
Love story.
Love story?
Love story.
Good, because we're going to talk about 4 of them, all from the same person. That's what makes the story interesting. All right, Todd, if you don't mind, can we go ahead and put that on mute? All right, so let's talk about why we're here. So first off, that is the gunpowder magazine, and this is where I get a chance to take off the bag because this gets a little animated. I'm not going to put it on theatrics. I'm just going to move around so I don't stick to my shirt. The gunpowder magazine, those are not crosses on it, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not from here and don't know what the hell those are basically turnbuckles. You can tighten them after an earthquake, and it's supposed to tighten up the building so it doesn't incur any further damage from the earthquake. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. Which, by the way, when I told you that we had the numbers 8-6, where did the numbers 8-6 come out of at the Pinky Mansion site? Again, that is relative to the earthquake from Big John's. That's where I was excited about the 8-6 that came out because the earthquake happened in 1886. So I forgot to say that. I remembered that along the way. I was like, ah, shit, I didn't touch that. But anyway, those earthquake bolts, by the way, the reason I bring them up is because it's part of the reason why we're here. Those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because that's the oldest government building we have in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. So we're here because that building is what I call a familiar. It seems like you guys all watch the TV shows. You've seen the Boo Buddy, right? The little teddy bear that they use to try to attract the child ghost. It's the same principle. This is just something Anne would recognize because there's not many buildings this old in Charleston. The other ones are said to have Anne Bonny ghosts around them as well. We actually captured quite a bit of evidence here. She might be here at the same time we are. She might not be. I never know. But again, it's why I like to do the bleed over from Philly from over here, so that way we at least have something before we leave the space. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. I'll answer for you. But our history actually begins right in the middle of it, so try to follow me. There's a handful of twists. Kaylee's already yawning, so let's kind of get through this. I know, and we're getting late here, guys. But anyway, 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She comes here with, who's got that super loud spirit box? Is that you?
Sorry.
Holy cow, are you? I was going to say, are you deaf? But you might actually have a hearing disability.
It's so interesting. I know. I'm trying to. Like,
I know, it's hard to listen to that and me at the same time. I'm like, wait a minute, I asked Todd to mute. I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's paying attention. But anyway, she comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far? Yeah. All right, the three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How mad was she that she kicked them out of the damn country to leave by boat to land here? So if you came here with a lady friend or your wife, girlfriend, be nice to them. They're going to kick you all the way up to Canada, fellas. So kind of that's normally the joke I make. And Chris is just not does not like my jokes at all. So he's very like, it's got this. So back to Anne. They land in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach, about an hour and a half north. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means Dad is sending young Anne down to Charleston to sell anything from the plantation to help keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. Let's go back to Ireland for just a second. Anne was said to be a badass even at the age of 7, 8, 9 years old. Remember, it's pirate lore. Nothing is ever going to be exact. They say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. We have had the terms servant, knife, belly show up on 3 different spirit boxes without the other 2 people knowing what was happening, if you're getting the point. So, fast forward. The building's done in 13. By 1715, Charlestown is starting to get pirates. And Anne is stoked because she's going to fall in love so she can earn her freedom just like a man. It was a man's world at this point. So, first guy she falls in love with. I said first because there's a handful, and we're going to cover them all because that's what makes the story so damn interesting. First guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going because we've already mentioned her pirate name. They ran away to Jamaica, they got married, and Cormac is now Anne Bonny. However, James, her new husband, is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. A few years go by. So this is guy number 2, John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. Calico Jack is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of, just so everybody knows who the hell this guy actually is. So, Calico Jack has his own ship. He has his own crew, and wants to be part of the crew. You can't put a girl on a pirate ship because it's bad luck. I would normally ask you guys that question. Hey, anybody know why you can't put a girl on a pirate ship? But we have a very mixed group tonight, and kids here, at least teenagers, and I don't need to get any angry parents, if you get my point, because I get really raunchy answers. But anyway, back to Anne. He makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy, you can be part of the crew. You're going to look like them, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this. The reason why is because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. So she gets it. It's a man's world, but she's a pirate. She's getting exactly what she wanted. Let's put 2 and 2 together. We can all do this together, right? So she's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So Jack drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby there, come back later, we'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns without a child. We have no idea what happened to the baby. If you want to ask, by all means do so. This is not going to be a prominent English woman like Eliza Pinckney. We're going to poke the bear when you guys are out asking questions. Anyway, this makes Jack mad that she's dressed like a girl. Everybody's going to know that he let a girl on the ship now. While she was gone giving birth to his baby, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. She's going to go flirting, because that's who Anne is, and we're on guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females, dressed like males, on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really ever know for sure, but the British found out where they are. They're going to send a fleet of ships to take down 1 pirate ship. Rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks because they don't know how to use cannons yet. Obviously, 2 ladies with flintlocks are not going to take on a whole fleet of British Navy ships. So they get arrested, and as they're being arrested, she looks over at her captain in bow, Calico Jack. She She says, I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up on your spirit boxes all the time. The judge wants to see the two men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunken pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone 2 days prior. Anne and Mary go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. The judge does not care that they're female. They're pirates. He's still going to hang them. We plead our bellies, was the last thing they shouted, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad's still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending, because we don't know that much about her after her pirate career. Some say she actually went up to Virginia, definitely changed her name. We still don't know if the 4 children after she came home is true or not. But here's what happened to Mary Read. She dies 5 months later in a Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books would tell you it was something simple like fever. I'm going to say that's BS. Let's call it something romantic like scurvy. Why the hell not? Those are some really bright blue lights that are totally unnecessary. Like, I thought the cops were coming for us. I'm like, what is happening right now?
I thought they were ghost lights.
Ghost lights. Well, you can probably see them really good with Kaylee's cam. So that's actually kind of hard to say. Kaylee's cam. Say that 5 times fast. But anyway, I'm not going to assign questions here because you guys all know what you're doing by now. Here's what I left out of the piece of history just so you have something to work with. Everything else is fair game. Again, not a prominent English woman. You don't need to tiptoe. Poke the bear. So I did leave out the name of Anne Bonny's parents on purpose. That's the father and the mistress. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship, the city where Anne grew up in Ireland, and the color of her hair, which is obviously an easy red. And I normally do that with people with spirit boxes that are just struggling. I look for a 1-syllable answer, and we do get the answers. For if you ask her how, what color was her hair, kind of thing. But anyway, everything else is fair game, so let's get everything cranked up, stay out of the way of these larger groups walking by, and we will end over there by that wall. Does everybody feel okay at this location, by the way? Yeah. We did get that be aware or something along those lines? Be careful. Be careful.
Be careful.
So we've had instances with females like getting a little bit like heart palpitations in this location, and we'll talk more about what actually happened here about a year ago. So we'll do that at the end before anybody freaks out. So Todd, make up now. Where we go again.
Good.
All right, let's do this. Let's spread out, guys. You guys know what to do.
We got Georgia. We got Georgia. Are you gonna be all right, honey? Sounds like we're almost done.
feel like Ellie and Mom got the coolest device. It's ghost tours. Probably the church. Or the moon. The moon looks really pretty right now.
Chris, anything?
I'm only picking up the meter, right?
Gotcha. The biggest orb I've ever caught with that camera has been here. It was bigger than my head. And it actually
Really?
came towards me, behind me, turned, and then went up and disappeared in frame. Yeah.
Wow.
It was right near that wall. What do you two have that you're so excited about? Any numbers showing up for you?
Well, just at 2.6 when I just looked at it just right then. It was like at 3 over there, but it was kind of steady. So I think it might be a meter. Yeah, just when I looked at it.
Stop. You're done.
Am I? I want like Ghostbusters on it.
You want the you want the ghost detector.
And we heard Chris at the same time that his thing went up. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
I do that. You know I react to people, so.
Yeah.
I kind of hope you'd have the Ghostbuster one. Where
The
it
PKE
comes
meter?
up. That
That's exactly what you're holding.
used to have the thingamajiggies.
Yeah, that's Hollywood, brother.
I know. Hollywood's cool.
It is cool, and yes, I'm playing the Ghostbusters game right now
I
on
know.
PlayStation, so I can use the damn PKE meter on the because they actually use the goggles with it too.
Yeah.
You know,
Is
and
that on P5?
possibly. I'm on PlayStation Plus for the PS4, so I was like, I wonder because I wanted to play it on my Switch. Sorry, I'm a hardcore gamer. My damn kids are grown.
She's a hardcore gamer too.
So, but
Yeah.
if the wife's on the PlayStation playing Hogwarts, like I got to go to my Switch. So that's kind of the way our house
Yeah.
works. You know, my 17-year-old lives with her mom in Myrtle Beach, and my 22-year-old has already got her own life. So it's me, the wife, and the dogs at home. So it's like whatever. We each grab a wiener dog and sit on the couch, and that's the way it goes. That's life. I know, but
It's gonna be our life pretty soon.
but with the the games, like I got like 5 games started right now. I keep going back to Assassin's Creed Black Flag because it's obviously the story we just talked about here with Anne Bonny and Calico Jack and all those characters are in there. But the PlayStation for the Ghostbusters game, I happened to notice that it was free through my subscription to PlayStation,
Nice.
so I was kind of like, download.
Yeah,
like that would be
that's
some fun.
cool.
It's a little hard to control
We
because
just got the 5 for her because we've been waiting, because I'm not paying.
yeah,
No.
I'm not. My wife keeps bugging me about it. I'm like,
Well,
Yeah, we
we actually
found
got it
it.
for normal price. Through
I actually
PlayStation.
happened to go to the PlayStation store and just look, and it was
my wife used to work for Best Buy.
it was there.
And yeah, she was constantly, when it first came out, she's like, are we going to upgrade? I'm like, no, we're not upgrading.
Yeah.
No, the PS4 works just great. We got a sub, like, we're fine. Like, I'm downloading a million games. I'm playing all my Assassin's Creed games. Like, I'm fine. I was like, when Hogwarts comes out, you are not going to need, like, just go get an extra hard drive for your Hogwarts game, because she's hardcore into it, too. She has a disability, so I got her into gaming because it helps with her dexterity.
Oh, yeah.
So it actually, she's all about Hogwarts. I had her, what did I have her playing before? Horizon. I'm sure you've heard of that. I was really surprised that she was in the Horizon, like, because that's a lot of like shooting arrows and that kind of thing, a lot of accuracy, and she had it down pat, like in a month. I was like, holy shit, what's going on right now? But I had her playing very simple games at first, but now she's all hardcore. Like, she's like, can I play that God of War that you got down? I'm like, yeah, go for it. You got your. That's actually why I got the PS4.
Huh.
Yeah, we played it on when it first came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PS2, I think was the first one on that one.
Because I played on
We've
that
had
one,
them all,
and then
yeah.
I got them all. I liked it.
Yep.
Let me follow up with these two, and then we're
Okay.
gonna wrap up over there.
Cool.
Kind of
Okay.
see what they got. Jennifer, you got anything at all?
Let's walk out here to where it's breezier. I feel like it just got hotter. Didn't it? No.
No.
Oh.
Well,
It just got hotter.
it's just hot.
Haley, do you want to hear this?
Kaylee, do you want to hear it? That's funny to hand me of all people a Ouija board box.
You said
Nah.
no.
Here.
Yeah.
There's like stuff on the floor. What is that?
So her voice will just pop up. You just like catch words as the radio goes through. It goes through a bunch of different stations so that it can like pick the words.
Alright, so first off, I kind of need to explain about what actually happened here about a year and a half ago. So why I give that heated warning at the top of the tour. So it was September, a year and a half ago. I took my group to the back just like I normally do. I'm super surprised. I feel like I'm the only tour working out here tonight. I'm not complaining, but it just seems weird that we haven't ran into any other tour. But anyway, I took them to the back, and the kid next to me, he's probably... Go kick the bucket back there. But I only had 2 people, so after Halloween is when I started researching. A young lady using the red spirit box for the year 1828, the name Henry, and I was using Carol's digital word list, and the name Tim showed up. So this bust right here is Henry Timrod, born in 1828. So I went, well, hot damn, there's my ghost. So things you need to know about him. First off, he was a writer, and he was sick through most of his life. So obviously, being born in 1828. Able to go and fight for the Civil War for the Confederates. So he goes out to the battlefield, and his comrades realize he's too sick to fight. They sent him home. Said, go be the voice of the war. They wanted him to write about what was going on in the battlefield. it becomes known as the laureate of the Confederacy. So, it's a pretty prestigious title for us writers, by the way. You guys are not familiar with that. 3 years go by, he has a son. You guys are going to know about the son? They're obviously not. His name was Billy. He was born on Christmas Eve and died 9 months later. Very sad and abrupt. And obviously, him and his wife, Katie, that's why when you guys had the name Caitlin show up, I was like, maybe. Him and Katie are mourning. But Henry is not writing as much, and his college friend realizes this. He invites him out to his cottage out in the middle of Columbia to finish the piece he's supposed to be publishing for the paper he works for. And he goes out there and writes his last words. His last words were beholder of brief mortality, person of short life. And then he coughs, and it lands on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. Now, that blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. They only show this book 1 day a year at the Charleston Library Society. You have to be a member of the society to be able to see it. But the internet's beautiful. So I'm going to show everybody what the page looks like, and then we're going to go talk to Miss Mary over there as if she is Henry. And hopefully we're going to get some answers out of her. So you guys will have to pay attention to the instructions that I give them, because some of you are going to have to be involved with tapping them out and so forth and so on, and what to actually expect, because I'm going to rely on you guys to actually help me out. And Brandon's like, why the hell are you putting me over here by my damn self? So let me show you this page, and then we're going to go talk to them and hopefully get some damn answers. This is...
I was sitting here, jumped up to 2.7, and then it's gone back to 0, 0.
27?
2.7.
What about the 4.8?
brief mortality.
Oh man.
See, it's
So
like
we
very
call this the blood book, so everybody knows. When you see
So
that,
it's still up there?
Huh?
The book's still up there?
Where?
The Bloodstained book that he was just talking about? I don't know.
have it.
No, it's at
it's
some
crazy
library.
to be a member.
That's crazy.
So this is the blood book, and you can obviously see the blood stain of his tuberculosis. It looks like a man writing at his desk.
They still have that book?
They do, on
That's
this page, and
crazy.
this is what they open up to and put it underneath glass and display it to the public on Halloween.
That's
Welcome to the Holy
crazy.
City. All right, let's go capture a ghost. Let's do this.
I think you died.
Yeah, the guy just got comfortable. Most people don't figure it out. It's fine. I buy them in bulk from Amazon for this exact purpose. So protect them with the earbuds. Let me help you out.
Did you say hello? Hello, Henry.
Okay.
So, a couple of things. I'll put you wrap it. I'm also going to take this earbud for just a brief second. We can start recording.
You just want me to say what I hear?
Yep. Let me go over the instructions. Perfect. So, and I'll set up my phone as I'm doing it for you, because you're going to be using my cell phone inside the headset. So, specifically for you, we're going to stay nice and tight. We're going to get in nice and close, because I don't like what the other tours are walking by and going, what are we doing? So, we will be filming. So, Kaylee's going to be filming the whole thing for us, and you're going to stay focused on them, because they're not going to know the history until you guys get the data back from me. You're going to have to rely on your family members on your way back to your rooms to let them know if it was a legitimate case or not. I'm always honest at the end. I'll tell you if it was slightly successful, unsuccessful, or very successful. Those are the three major things. I'm only going to keep you guys under for 10 minutes. I'll be watching both of your breathing, just so you know. I've had to pull people out because of hyperventilation. I blame the weather, but we never know. In the event we need to tap you out, your family member will be nearby. So Brandon, you'll have to be on this side, and then they're going to tap you on the leg. That means we're done. You take off your gear. You're obviously going to be able to hear us, but you just don't know the history. In the event that, Mary, you're speaking too loud, somebody will tap your shoulder. So I need a volunteer from the fam. So Ellie, go ahead and stand behind Mom. I'm assuming Mom, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Got it. You guys have been like head to head all night. I kind of presume. But if she's talking too loud, I'll have her tap you on the shoulder. Remember, we can hear you. So just kind of, if you're whispering, we may lift up your earmuff and say, go ahead and go a little louder.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
So if you have it at a comfortable volume now, obviously you have both earbuds in, so you probably don't have any volume. Go ahead and set it to a comfortable volume, and then you're going to set that to the side. I don't want you touching it at all.
Okay.
You want to make sure you're not cheating and hearing the questions that I'm asking. It's also okay to answer in yes/no answers. If you hear yes/no, it's okay to say that out loud. You don't know what questions I'm asking. I might ask the ghost if I'm wearing a gray shirt. So I'm going to wait for a yes or a no answer.
Okay.
If you're getting my point. And also remember to talk. You You have to tell us in real time what
Everything
you're
I'm hearing.
Everything
Okay.
you're hearing.
So you want me up loud enough so I can't hear you?
Right. Yeah, I don't want you hearing me at all.
Okay.
All right. For you, all you're going to do is describe the pictures that you're seeing. You're going to have a background of moving smoke or fog, and you're going to tell us everything else that you see besides that smoke or fog. And very brief descriptions, because remember, she's going to be talking at the same time. So I'll kind of get this set up and then slide it into your... Have you guys ever seen artificial intelligence create an image? It's very interesting, by the way. I use it a lot for social media because now they're all original pictures. I just slap my logo on it and boom, I own it. It's wonderful. I use it all the time. I won't do it for writing because that's just going to put me out of a job. One more little Dr. Touch. Right there. Boom. I don't want to see what comes up on there. So this is all for you, so all you got to do is describe this. Mary, go ahead and put your blindfold on. Look around.
She put it
You'll see
upside down.
it's really easy to navigate. So your focus is right here. It'll move the lens this way, and then underneath on the thumb parts, like if you were holding it this way, it's going to move it back. So whatever you're comfortable with, again, that'll have to go over your head. Okay, noise canceling headphones. So Mary, can you hear me at all?
I can hear you right now, yeah.
All right, so go ahead and slide those over her ears, and then I'll ask her again. You can put the ears on mute now. By the way, everybody else, we're going to keep you on mute for sure. But yeah, we're going to huddle in nice and tight. Definitely, if you want to get some footage, you can film anywhere. Let me know, Carol, if you see any words pop up. Same thing with the Ouija board device. So, Brandon, you're kind of on call too. If Mary's not giving me the answer, it may go to another device. So at this point, Mary, can you hear me? Good. It is 11:09, and we're going to get started. So, Mary, you can't hear me, correct? Okay, good. You can't hear me. So, you got everything set focused for you, Jennifer? Yeah. All right, perfect. All right, so we are looking to speak to Henry Timrod. So if we have Henry here with us, we would like for you to either say your name or something specific to you, like your occupation. We're not looking for parlor tricks. We come with respect.
A real grudge.
Okay, I know you don't like me here, but there's nobody else here. So it's just us. I know I have a larger group tonight, but if you can tell us your occupation, that would be fantastic. Occupation, please. You can show us as well by using the green box on Jennifer's face.
But no.
But no. I want you guys also to notice I'm not writing anything down. I do that on purpose so I can focus on them to make sure they're okay. I know I keep moving towards you, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Henry Timrod, can you push through and tell us something specific about you? Give us your first name, your occupation, or if you want to talk about something completely different.
Oh, the chicken song.
We're not discussing chickens. Henry, we can also see images through the other box on Jennifer's face. I know Mary's blindfolded, but she
got a gun.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay.
This is my first shot.
Oh.
If there's somebody else here, we would like to know your first name, please. I already know who you are. You just need to identify yourself. So focused. You see, I see this. Who else do we have here?
96.
Nope, wrong number. Try again.
I remember.
You remember what? Can you tell us what happened to you? Dr. Ladd's house that we talked about earlier is 0.3 miles this way. He's been slipping through more and more. So when she said I have a gun and it's my first shot, that was kind of my clue that we might actually...
Vigilites.
I missed that. What was that?
The Vigilites?
Dr. Ladd, are you here with us? That's a yes-no answer. I'm okay if you are. Henry wasn't coming through anyway.
We stood together.
Then what? Back to back. They stood together. Then what happened? Dr. Ladd, back, you stood together. Then what?
It's a miracle.
It's 10 paces in opposite directions are the rules. So if she gives us the number 10 or the word steps, like, I'm good with that.
It's a miracle.
It's not a miracle. You didn't make it, Dr. Ladd. Newsflash. Dr. Ladd, are you here with us? Yes or no?
She gave us 10 at the beginning.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. So I think the first thing she said.
She said 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a preamble to what was to come, eh? Dr. Ladd, can you give us some words so we can identify you, please? Medicinal terms will work. I'm okay.
British?
I'm okay with respecting your occupation. Jennifer, you got nothing going on?
No.
Nothing but smoke. It's like you're vaping in there, huh?
Yeah. Oh, dear God.
Oh.
Sorry, Dr. Ladd, we didn't mean to talk about smoking. We know that.
Add to the story.
Okay, let's go for it.
Ooh.
What do you want to tell us? Tell your story every night, Doc. What do you want to tell us? I don't think I've ever had a conversation with you like this before.
It was outside.
You're normally hiding off somewhere, just slipping through. You want to tell us where you live?
I want to do it.
Well, tell us then. Where did you live? What was the address?
Tuesday.
It's not called Tuesday. Jennifer, I'm really disappointed here. You need to create some images. Focus.
3230.
Dr. Ladd was 22 when he died from that gunshot. Whoever's here, can you tell me what we're hearing from the church right now? Carol, we've gotten that answer on your device in the past, and it's also been spelled out. So, bells. Whoever's here, tell us what we just heard from St. Michael's Church. You can use any of the boxes that we have. Jennifer would love to see it. Yeah, I wish. I know. I want you to show me something. Jennifer wishes you would show her a picture. She's looking at smoke.
Holler.
Dr. Ladd?
Time.
Let's try to get back to Henry. Henry, can you push through?
I love.
Who did you love? What was her name? What was your wife's name? Last night
Faith of God.
we had 7 images come through the other night. I was stoked. Like, that's a lot for 10 minutes. Speaking of, we're at 6 minutes right now. Ooh, she just heard something. Ellie, was she sweating that much when you guys were working together
I was
earlier?
just thinking that.
Henry or Dr. Ladd? We would...
Nashville.
Hi. Who is from Nashville?
Traitor.
Oh.
That's intense.
That was really intense.
They usually say things how they hear them. Like if they get excited, that's how they hear it. Come on, Jenna. You got this. It's so weird. We normally at least get 3. Like that's been the minimum. Henry, Timrod, push through. Let's talk about your wife. You said that you were in love. Can you tell me what her name was?
Joshua.
Her name was not Joshua.
Maybe he was, maybe he was a long okay. Yeah.
Henry, you're not really giving us much.
40.
He was Henrietta.
Henrietta.
all insured.
Deposit
You're
on
fine.
that.
I'm 50 years old.
You are not 50 years old. Neither one of you are 50 years old.
But I am.
Are you really?
I'm
Did you
almost
bring somebody with you? Somebody that would identify you that way?
Dad.
Do you know Joshua?
No.
That's not with us anymore?
August 26th.
Holy cow. That's a specific date. Who does that belong to? And we're not even in August. Henry or Dr. Ladd, we're going to be wrapping this up in just a minute. You've got 1 minute to show us some images to Miss Jennifer because she's got nothing but smoke in there. Or to tell us something specific about you. You've given us a lot of numbers, like the number.
Built this city.
Timrod is a native Charlestonian. I'm just going to put that out there.
Think on that.
You dummy! Wow. Henry, we're going to wrap it up. One last phrase. What do you want us to know?
I got this.
No, I got this. You need to give us something specific. That imagery. Killing me. I was kind of stalling, hoping she was going to get anything to come through there. I thought I saw something at the very beginning starting to come through. That's why I hurried up and slid it into the headset. Nothing? Henry, Dr. Ladd, can you say goodnight?
Where's that child?
Oh.
Which child? This got real serious all of a sudden. Which child are we referring to?
You may prosper, whatever you do.
Oh.
That's nice. Are we talking about your son Willie? That's a yes/no question. Are we talking about your son Willie? It's okay to answer, Mr. Timrod. We're listening.
She heard the bill.
Heard the bell. Mr. Timrod, we're going to say goodnight. Can you say it back to us?
Lonely.
Oh.
On that note, Mr. Timrod, what time is it? Started at 11:07. Oh yeah, we got her under for like 13 minutes. Go ahead and tap her out.
Who?
On the leg.
Oh.
Alright, Jennifer, let me see that, because I'm almost positive something started to come through at the beginning.
Yes.
Yep, we definitely got smoke. Nothing but. So, let's take a look and see what imagery that came up. Where's that child?
Right?
Traitor.
Yeah, I know.
The chicken song?
Chicken song?
I think you
They had that way back in the day?
What?
Chicken song?
Yeah, don't get up just yet. I want to make sure you guys are going to be okay getting disoriented. Yeah, we have somebody in there. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he's wearing a hoodie and has glasses on. I started to see like the top of the hoodie and I hurried up and slid it into...
Where was that?
This is what showed up on her headset. I don't know who this guy is. I will tell you that
Looks like Andy Reid.
Maybe it's
It
Joshua.
It does
It
look
is
like
Jo-
Andy Reid.
Who's Andy Reid?
Football coach.
Okay, that would be why I don't know. I will tell you that Mr. Timrod that we were trying to get in touch with, or Miss Mary over here, actually has a very distinctive, thick mustache. Almost like a caterpillar mustache, if you guys get my point. Like, it's very thick, very bushy. This guy also has a bushy mustache, but again, he doesn't look like the guy at all. And definitely, Henry Timrod from the 1800s is not going to be wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
So that's not a thing. What's weird is there's a leaf on his head, and you had a leaf fall on your shoulder. Did anybody else capture that?
I did.
Yeah.
I saw it on the shoulder.
That's crazy.
That is a little weird. So again, you guys will at least get this one photo back that you didn't see because it probably dissipated it as I was putting it into the device.
Did he die?
No.
Oh. That looks
that we know of.
Yeah. All right.
Check the news, Todd. Very interesting. So, almost more conversation.